us, and we felt they did seem like the big brother and sister, almost like a parent. And then we were very nervous young parents with a little baby, and they were always a source of comfort and somebody else when you're not close to parents, somebody else who told you how cute your baby was and sweet and all the things that you want to hear. And they were a place to go for holidays and emergencies, and you always knew you could count on them. And then we were just there for a few years and then moved to Saskatchewan. But those early years when we were young and inexperienced and didn't feel like we were, I was still 21 when we had our first baby, where we felt very much like too young for all this. They were our support, and I know we're not the only people that Lyle and Connie took under their wing and were there for, but they were so good to us. So those are the years that I really recall is those special years when we needed a mom and dad, and they were the closest thing to it. So those are my memories.
Thank you, Randy. That was great. Is there anyone else? Jack and Carol, do you have anything? I see. Thank you, Jack. I remember when I first met you, Carol. Do you remember that day?
I don't remember the first, well, I think Jeff came home.
I went up and introduced myself to you in your kitchen. Oh, I'm Greg Kennedy. That's my mom's house down the road. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Take it away.
It did not come prepared. It did not come prepared.
I just want to say everything you said about your parents is totally true. They loved you more than anything and everything. You and Jeff kind of got together, and because of you two, we became friends with your parents. And actually, Jeff knew your parents before we did, because he'd go down the street and play with you and sit on your deck with your mother and tell your mother stories about us.
Are you going to tell that story?
No, not that one.
Not that one?
Anyway, I remember your mom confiding in me after we got to know one another that one day he had, and of course your mother always fed him too. That particular day you were having dinner or lunch or something, and it was chicken, and he told her that she made the best chicken, far better than his own mother. The two of you were a pair of monkeys, and you did get into a lot of trouble together, but those were really fun times, and they were really fun times that we had with your mom and dad. All those things that you mentioned, I think I'd done with your mom. And we both curled with your mom and dad and did many, many things. And they were truly great people. And your mother was just such a classy, classy lady. I loved her a lot.
Some of the memories that I have, mostly about our curling, because I can't go through a season without curling. Your dad was an excellent curler. I was studying for my accounting designation, so I couldn't curl during the week. Lyle would love to have curled during the week. We would have bonspiels out at the gas plant. The Parts and the Kennedys were always prize winners out there. After I got my accounting designation, Lyle and I made up a team and picked up two others in Red Deer. Curled all around the province. And I think that's the first year I ever curled 100 games in a year. But it was Lyle that was the instigator. He was, let's go there, let's go there. when we came to Calgary, and we didn't live that far apart, we were here a year earlier than you, I believe. Lyle was working downtown, I was working downtown. Lyle was my ride, because he had a company car. I'd stand at the bus stop, and he'd drive up to the bus stop, pick me up, and everybody else would look.
What makes you so special?
What are we, chopped liver? Most enjoyable times. Your mother was a character. She always had a story to tell, and she always had a laugh. I can still hear her laugh. Thank you.
Anyway, we feel very blessed to have known you and your parents. And they'll be sorely missed.
Thank you for your lovely words today. You did a great job.
You're welcome. Judy? Okay. I was hoping you would. You're such a light in everyone's life. This is Judy Obrien. She worked with my mom for a good period of years at the Calgary Tourist Convention Bureau.
Yes, I did. I met Connie. Yeah, I started there in January of '87, the year before the Olympics, and Connie and I became fast friends. And we always had lots of fun together. And we had, I was a recipient of many wonderful meals at Connie's house. She was a great cook. I wrote in the card to Greg that she was Martha Stewart before Martha Stewart was Martha Stewart. She used to do her butter and curl her butter, and she was always had special touches. But I can remember her saying when Connie, when her and Lyle first started dating in that red MGA, that it was one of their very first dates, and they were going to something at the Jubilee. It was called the Jubilee before something, but anyway, they were going to a concert or something there, and she had a white pantsuit on, and she had her hair all done, and she didn't really expect Lyle to pick her up in that car. And she said by the time she got to the Jubilee, her hair was all over the place, and there was bugs in her teeth, and but she said she went on a second date, and from there, yes, we know, and yes, of course, Greg was such a light in both their lives. And I remember asking her, though, when I first met her, and I think Greg was probably about 17 at the time, and I said, "Oh, did you ever think of adopting another one?" She's, "Oh my God, I could barely keep up with Greg. How would I ever manage two?"
I would have helped.
And you kept her on her toes, that's for sure. And we traveled a little bit together, Toronto and Ottawa and St. Louis and Louisville, Kentucky. We went on a few trips together, and we always had lots and lots of fun. So, and that picture there, yes, I remember the Westin Hotel had invited us they were hosting a tacky tourist party. So everybody gathered at my apartment downtown before we went over to the West End. And of course we've got shirts on and cameras and mustard and ball caps, and she shows up with this like dress from Hawaii and a little straw hat. County could not do tacky, no matter how hard she tried. She could not do tacky. So, and yeah, we had lots of fun. And so over the years, and yes, we'd have lunches and we'd have dinners, and we'd always have lots of laughs. And I was at their house many Christmases. And we'd do a jigsaw puzzle, and I always appreciated being at that table. And we had, lots of laughs over the years, and we'd shop and travel and eat, and we would laugh. And mostly tell stories about Lyle and Greg, but.
This is true.
Yes.
I remember of all the people that she worked at the Convention Bureau with, that she spoke so warmly of you.
Yeah, we had a special
and Don.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a fantastic friend.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming today.
Yeah, sorry for your loss, for all of our losses.
Judy, can you hold just one moment? I reserve the next spot but you'll be right after, I promise. So who would like to go first of Dad's sister's side of the family? Shirley, would you like to go? Okay. There's